Hello and welcome to the Dokapon Library, your one-stop shop for running out of ways to squeeze Burlikin into these update thumbnails as a way to represent the updates. On July 7th, the Steam version of Dokapon Sword of Fury was updated from version 1.1.0 to 1.1.1. And this update also comes with a set of patch notes, mostly going over issues that were occurring in the UI, so let's go over them. Fixed an issue where button settings could become incorrect after a rock-paper-scissors match with Peddler Gametz. To show this, let's go into the settings and turn on the swap option for controls. When this option is off, the B button is confirm and the A button is cancel. But when it's on, A is confirm and B is cancel. However, if we encounter Gametz and challenge him to rock, paper, scissors, when the match is over, suddenly the A button is no longer confirm. And if we look at the settings, the swap option is inexplicably turned off. So that's what would happen in 1.1.0, but 1.1.1 fixes this so that this scenario no longer resets your options. Resolved a UI display issue that could occur during battles with players using different button display settings. Let's showcase this in a battle with Urara and Wiwi. In this situation, this player is using a controller, and this player is using a keyboard. However, the UI displayed for both players shows up as the controller option. This is because it is the controller player's turn, so all the button prompts change to the controller. If we advance to the next turn, the controller prompts are now keyboard prompts, because it is the keyboard player's turn, despite the fact that this player is still using a controller. Suffice to say, this would lead to confusion if you didn't have the button prompts memorized before entering a player battle. This was changed in 1.1.1 so that each side now has their respective controller prompts, regardless of whose turn it currently is. Fixed a bug where the UI did not display correctly when the language was set to simplified or traditional Chinese and portrait effects were set to dot. Okay, so portrait effects have two options, dot and smooth. Smooth is the remaster option of making all the portrait sprites high quality and smoothing out the pixels, whereas dot gives you the original pixelated PlayStation sprites. And there was a bug in the new Chinese language options where certain sprites were not attributed properly, but only when the dot option was selected. For example, here's the Dokapon Castle banner in both dot and smooth. If we look at the text, we can tell that both sides show different text in the banner. The language option is currently set to traditional Chinese, but only the smooth side shows traditional Chinese text. The dot side has the text in simplified Chinese. This issue was fixed in the 1.1.1 update so that both sides now display the correct graphic when set to traditional Chinese, regardless of portrait effect. Addressed a problem where player icons were not displayed properly when an additional color was selected. So, the new alternative color system gives each character 3 additional colors that can be chosen from. This changes the overall sprite, but it also changes the color of the character icon. However, some of these character icons were flat out the wrong color. If I had to guess, these incorrect character icons were previous versions of the alternative character colors that were changed during development. So the overall sprites are the finalized colors, whereas the icons were simply not updated for release. In the 1.1.0 version, I found 9 different character colors that were incorrect. These include purple Scop, red Urara, blue Gamamaru, red Gamamaru, purple Gamamaru, black Burlikin, blue Wiwi, green Wiwi, and red Wiwi. These were the icons that were incorrectly colored in the 1.1.0 version, so let's see how they changed in the update. Yeah, none of the icons changed in the update. Or rather, they didn't change in the English version. Because if the language is set to Japanese, Simplified Chinese, or Traditional Chinese, then the correct icons will be displayed. For simplicity's sake, this is how the incorrect icons are displayed compared to how the correct icons are displayed in the other versions. So they were fixed in this update, they just forgot to add the fixed sprites to the English release. And finally, fixed various minor issues. Now, normally this is the section where I put the plus alpha, but there really isn't anything new to talk about. We just got the 1.1.0 updates and nothing else has been revealed since then. They still haven't updated the Switch version with the new features. Trust me, I checked. So I guess that means there's only one thing left to do, and that's to thank you for joining me on this Dokapon news update, and I'll see you later for some more Dokapon content.